In this video, we are looking at the Straight Talk ZTE Zephyr. This phone retails for $69.99, and this is basically an entry-level device. And the specs on it are a 4-inch touchscreen, Android 4.4, which is KitKat, 1.2 gig dual-core processor, 3G, so it's not LTE or anything like that, and a 5 megapixel camera with 0.3 megapixel front facing camera. Now, I think this review is going to be rather short because, to be honest, there's nothing particularly interesting about this phone, and this is basically the same phone that we kind of saw 2 or 3 years ago from ZTE. So for starters, this phone is quite heavy for the size, and it's very dated looking. You can see the Android buttons here at the bottom, all that space being wasted for the buttons. The buttons are backlit, which is always nice, but just to be blunt, I really don't like this phone for the simple fact that this is just basically the same ZTE phone that I reviewed 2 or 3 years ago. So there's nothing new here to see, so I would really not even bother recommending this phone for the simple fact that there are much better phones out there for like 10 bucks more. I reviewed one earlier, so if you're in this price point, then I would highly steer you more towards the LG Power, which is another phone that's new that came out at the same time as this one, and it's far superior in pretty much all aspects to this phone. But just to finish out the review, as I said, nothing new here. The phone is all black. It's all plastic, of course. The battery cover is of the rubberized material. You do get an LED flash with your camera. That's a 5 megapixel camera. And on the front, as I said, you have the standard 3-button Android layout. They are capacitive touch and they are backlit, as I showed. On the left here we have our charge port. Here's our volume, and here at the top is our lock/power button, and there's our headphone jack. Now on the Android side of things, everything here on this phone is all pretty much standard. There's no extras. Of course, you get your Google Maps, YouTube, Chrome, etc., etc., Play Store. And the one thing that I don't like about this phone, considering it's 2015 and they've done this a million times by now, and that's the fact that it's okay now, but sometimes it does get a little laggy. So you might swipe and it might take half a second for it to go to the next screen, which I think is completely unacceptable in this day and age, even if the phone is just 69 bucks. As I said, LG has one that's 79 bucks, and it probably looks 10 times better than this. Now, if you're still interested in this phone for whatever reason, we'll go ahead and measure it for you. As I said, it is fairly heavy, and I don't like the fact that there's a lot of real estate being wasted at the bottom here by the buttons. But the dimensions, as they advertise on the screen, 4 inches, so we have 4.03. The thickness, it is fairly thick. We have 0.44 on the thickness. The width, we have 2.5. And then the height, we're right under 5 inches. So I think that about wraps it up. It's not a whole lot more to say about the phone, to be honest, because it's something that we've seen a million times by now. So I can't really say or give you a reason why you would want this phone or buy this phone when there's better ones out there for not much more money. But in case I didn't mention it earlier, it is a Verizon phone, so it's a CDMA phone, so it'll be activated with Verizon. So if for whatever reason you're interested in this one, do make sure you have Verizon coverage.